Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall is 20 past 11 on Friday night. Back with a few for tomorrow. I had said to you last night at the wind-up that I had plans to do one of three things tonight. Finished up doing nothing. Done none of them. I didn't make the cut for the umpire's job. I don't know why I wasn't asked. The usual few was around, I think, but I met one of them today and he said he was out, but I wasn't. So maybe he thought I was away, but he could have rang and find out. The match in Dublin, I seen it was on YouTube live, so I watched that. 'Twas America, the US of A against London in a tournament. London won it by a point. I would have known a couple of that was playing, so I didn't get away in time. Lawn and stuff today, and I had to go and get stuff, and I had to go and pay. I forgot I had to pay for the lawnmower that I've got fixed 2 months ago. I never thought to pay the bill, and I went off and I visited two houses on the way, one on the way back. It was all hours when I got back and walked the dog and started looking at this thing about 9 o'clock. I'm over 2 hours, 2.25 hours, trying to weed out, and one video led to another, and one replay led to another, and peace of mind while I was doing it, so I kept at it. A couple of made the short list and didn't make the final list. Today, I suggested two lucky 15s. One was a break even, and the other one was a loss. Almost a full loss. We had only a place and a non-runner in it, I think. No, just a place. Probably could have had two more places than that. Kitsune Power looked like he'd placed, got ran out in the last few years. Also, the same thing happened to Imminency, and that drifted out to, I think, 16-1. Just short-headed back into fifth, paying 4. A day in Devon. Good money for that all day. Ran a great little race again. Second to the horse that it beat the last time, but the horse that beat the last time that won today had a troubled trip the last time. The other one, we had Involvement getting off to a great start, hosed up. Thought the step up and trip would suit. It did. Yard and Forum. Beamish was a washout. The other one, in Fundalk, I had said that we were going doing the one that got away, and I wrote up the other one last night then, and the one that got away was second. And Amorite looked, I thought we were in great position all the way around, and I says we're on the winner here, and when they upped the ante a bit, I thought we're still going well, but something happened on the turn. I know did act right on the track or something. Cocked his jaw and lugged a bit and ran on well to be second. But I was disappointed with the way that horse finished. And I didn't get a chance to look back at it. I was actually watching it live on TG Cahir, Oscailga, because that match that I was on, I was watching, I just flicked it over. There's a power of stuff tomorrow altogether. I think I had about 20 in my tracker. Only one bus horse tomorrow, and it doesn't run in Ireland or England. It runs in France. And the name of the horse is from a different country. We'll get to it in a minute. Now, I want to get out of here. I don't know what my nap is yet. I'll probably write it up when I do get to write up. We'll start as I have them set up from left to right, that I don't. There's a 1.5 mile race here, class 2 handicap. Favourite hasn't ran this year, so it's hard to weigh it up, but I'm going to take a chance on Ziggy. We were on it in Royal Ascot, and it was back the pack maybe too far, and it finished third, but just before we pick it up, I ran into it with bother. It could not get the gap when it wanted it, and it stayed on late. I'll point him out.
Back in fifth, they're racing now down towards the final furlong and a half. Fairbanks to the inside of Deakin. Mandoob is sticking on really bravely. Here comes Ethical Diamond down the outside under Ryan Moore. Crystal Black in those green sleeves also moving up. Lots of the chance inside the final furlong. Crystal Black has now mastered Ethical Diamond. Then Mandoob and Fairbanks and Epic Poet from miles back. But it's Crystal Black to win the Duke of Edinburgh Stakes from Epic Poet and Ziggy, and then came Ethical Diamond.
Showed a bit of courage the way it ran on, but before we picked it up there, he was trying to get out to come up the middle of the track, and he got boxed in. So then he had to just wait and hope for a gap. So we'll go with Ziggy in that race. In the 3:30, no, what have I set up next? The 4:50 at York. Bringbackmemories. We seen that in the race that I showed last night, which ran in Newcastle. It was his first time at the trip. So the road had to get home. And it comes wide on the outside in the Northumberland Vase. Alphonse Legrand.
As they come towards the final 2.5 furlongs. Show No Fear is still pressing on in front here. And he's got one or two of them up the bit in second. Ponzelius being driven. Alphonse Legrand is coming there with a threatening run to go into second place as Show No Fear continues to gallop on relentlessly. Alphonse Legrand is eating into the lead though, and is within half a length inside the final furlong. Back in third place, Ponzelius, Alphonse Legrand and Holly Doyle produced immaculate. And Alphonse Legrand wins the Northumberland Vase emphatically. Show No Fear in second, Bringbackmemories third.
Bringbackmemories third. Change of pilot tomorrow as well could be a plus. It's back down in class, so it's an 8-1 shot. 10-1, 9-1. We're paying 5 places, most of them there. So that was one I had sort of marked out to the next time at the trip. The 3:32 at York. Another staying race. I was looking at all the staying races. Coco Royale won the last day and it's up £8 for it. Tactician won a maiden. I picked Manxman on the strength of an in-forum yard with Simon Crisford batting 35% lately. But it was out of form when it ran, and it ran against, we were on the winner, Pledge of Allegiance. And I looked at one stage that it was coming to catch him. Where are we here? I'll play it and I'll get rid of it then.
They just slow up going into that turn, but David Egan tries to really get them a little flat-footed, and he kicked off that turn. He leads now by 2.5 to Temporize in second on the outside of Pledge of Allegiance, who now tries to close. They're then being followed by Havela, who was slightly tapped for toe when they turned it on. Robert Johnson is now staying on down the centre of the course with Vino Vitrix, and still Manxman is at the back of the pack. Inside the final 3 furlongs, Pledge of Allegiance. Over on the far side, Maxident tries to hang tough. Temporize, who stays all day, is now staying on and now has a share of the lead with Pledge of Allegiance as they battle inside the final quarter of a mile. Robert Johnson is next down the centre of the course. Vino Vitrix with not a great deal of room. Manxman from a long way back. They're now racing on towards the final furlong. Pledge of Allegiance battles back to get the lead from Temporize. Manxman still stays on with Robert Johnson down the outside. A half furlong to go. Pledge of Allegiance needs the line, but he still leads. Racing up towards the line. Pledge of Allegiance wins. Tight second, Temporize, or on the near side,
And he goes on to win in Royal Ascot, the winner. Each way bet as well there, paying 4 places, taking on the Fav. We'll go to the big race of the day. I have to give my opinion on it, which is the July Cup. The highest rated is Vandeek, and Inisharan beat that the last day. Christopher Gerrard was out of form at the time. This had won 4 last year. Now, the soft ground, someone's given as an excuse, but it had won in Deauville, beat Ramatoul on heavy ground. It had won on soft ground in Goodwood. I think it was just that the yard was totally out of form. He was given a £3 that day. They're level weights tomorrow. Yard and form. I'm going with Vandeek in the big one. The 3:45 at York. It's a funny race. It's a mile 6. Well, it's not that funny, but it's a funny race to get an angle on it. I came down on the top weight. Well, it's not the top weight, it's number 1, because it's Al Qareem, and it has good back form. Klondike is the favourite, and this is a horse at the very soft ground, I think, and it was only a mile and a half in Chantilly the last day, but it was behind Giavaletto. It was second in the John Porter behind Hamish. Won a Group 3 bet Israel well last year and beat Blue Stockton. Rated 112. Klondike is the fav, isn't it? And they're giant favourites in some places. Salt Bay nearly reeled him in the last day. And I just think that might be set up for Al Qareem tomorrow. There's a good race as well in the 3:10, isn't it? Oh yeah, the John Smith Cup. A lot of big money tomorrow. This is 103,000 to the winner. Epic Poet that we've seen there finishing alongside Ziggy, but that was over a mile and a half. This is a step back and trip. I thought they should have kept him at that, but who am I? We backed Botanical the last day, and we backed it at a bigger price than it went off, which was, I think, to the ground that beat it. It won. Its best run there last year, it would beat Mr. Professor, who came out and won the Lincoln this year. And it won on good ground in York. It hosed up, and that was the reason I went for that in Ascot. But it was good to fair up. It was stone cold last. So it's an 8-to-1 shot there. Paying 6 places a lot of the bookies. Going with Botanical. And then our bus horse is running Longchamp tomorrow evening, Illinois. I wouldn't be awfully confident, but he's the only bus horse that's going tomorrow. But he did run a bit green, I thought, the last day, but that was over a mile 6 in the Queen's Vase. And he's stepping up. He wandered across the track like he's meeting way better stock tomorrow than he did in this race, so he'd have to improve a good bit.
2 lengths clear with a furlong and a half to go. More driving away. Highbury giving chase. Birdman out wide, staying on with Maidan. Inside the furlong they come. Illinois. Highbury is still chasing his stablemate. Birdman is closing. Illinois wandering off a true line. More at full bore, and it's Illinois who wins the Queen's Heart, and it's a 1-2 for Aidan O'Brien. Highbury chase.
Back and Trip is the thing tomorrow. Denton in the Ledger and the Goodwood Cup and the Great Voltigeur. And tomorrow O'Brien is sending it over. You have the Fav in it is Delius. You have Saucy that was third in the French Derby. Ran a good race. You have Tamfana. I think that's supplemented for this tomorrow. Have a look at the betting. Delius 2-1, 11-4, 3-1. So we'll have to stick. It's only bus horse tomorrow, so we'll stick with it. Two that nearly made the shortlist was Divine Libra in the 4 o'clock at Newmarket. Carry the One is favourite. Carry the One is 72. Divine Libra is 8th and whatever. And in there's one there, a big price in Ascot in the 145. Must be very big. Prince of Zinda. That got a sort of a baddish ride the last week. I thought it'd be out with the pace. And it came from the back, got a bad ride. Aidan Keeley taking 3 off tomorrow, isn't he? That's very competitive. Yeah, Keeley is 3. Might be worth an each way play. Anyway, we'll have to get this into the oven. Bash the bookies over and out. Oh, shout out before I go to Davy Prodigy and Johnny Casey.